supercars, fearless drivers, and police who refuse to back down. Absolute chaos. Buckle up, folks. I'm about to take you on a wild ride that's fast, furious, and downright unbelievable. As I reveal the craziest supercar police chases caught on camera. Number 1, C63 versus Swedish police. That engine sounds like synchronized chaos. The Merc totally smoked them. And honestly, I have no idea what the cops were expecting here. They're tailing this supercharged C63 on a Volkswagen multivan and Volvo V70. Anyway, this is just a tease now. The driver literally waits for the police to catch up before speeding off again. There should be a protocol for cops to just bail out of a chase when they come across a ride like this. I don't know about you, but this chase looked much better than a Hollywood action film. Number 2, the legendary Hellcat. You can actually see when the driver of the Hellcat hits the gas to get this nosy cop off his tail. In just a matter of a few seconds, the Hellcat is almost out of frame as it cruises at dangerous speeds of over 150 miles per hour. And at this point, I'm not even sure why the state trooper is still trying to go after him. I mean, if you think about it, it's just a cop driving by himself at night on the highway because that Hellcat is long gone. Legend has it, this trooper is still out on the highway searching for this Hellcat. Number 3, RS4 from Hell. People usually check for no cops, but this guy is literally waiting for them to catch up. And why wouldn't he? He's in an RS4 from Hell. It's tuned to the max, and that's why we quickly lose sight of the cops miserably trying to catch up. I honestly think the police are having just as much fun chasing down these bad boys. Number 4, bad luck.
I'm in traffic, watch my brakes. Clear, all the way down.
This Chrysler 300 STR8 could have easily outran these cops if it wasn't for a blown tire. And if you're going to try and evade the cops, at least don't do it in a vehicle with the most outrageous paint job ever. But yeah, even with a blown tire, this chase is extremely dangerous since the STR8 can spin out at any given moment. The Georgia State Patrol has other plans though. Even before the driver can think of doing something stupid, they perform a simple pit maneuver, putting an end to the nonsense. Number 5, trolling the cops. Now this clip doesn't exactly involve a high-speed pursuit or anything. It actually shows the legendary Nissan GT-R trolling the police. He's right beside them as he tries to lead them on a chase, or at least get some sort of reaction out of them. But the cops obviously know better. There's no way the state provides them with enough horsepower to chase that monster down. And the most hilarious part is how they don't even bother when the driver inside the Nissan floors it right in front of them. Number 6, crazy Lamborghini chase. Check out this news report. Doesn't it look like a clip out of GTA 5 or something? I mean, this guy is pushing the machine to the absolute limit. And for a second there, he almost loses control as well, nearly spinning out a busy highway. But as the car starts to slow down, you'll notice how it's all busted. I'm guessing this guy pushed it a bit too much, and maybe that's why he called off the chase after randomly stepping out of the stolen supercar. And I don't know the exact speed, but I'm pretty sure this dude was doing 180 to 200 miles per hour. Number 7. Making the cops go never mind. Just listen to this beauty roar. That's an M5 E60 packing a V10 under the hood. And as for the cops, I don't even know what that is. It's like a van. And as soon as the BMW driver floors it, the police know this is above their pay grade. They switch their sirens off quicker than they even turned on after hearing that V10 in action. I mean, a van chasing a BMW? Let's not even get into it. Number 8. Too hot to handle. Get ready for a magic trick, guys. You can see a black Hellcat, and now you can't. He outran the cops with a huge gap, but just wait for it. There's some bonus footage at the end. No matter how fast you are, if they get your plate, you're a goner. That's one less reckless driver on the streets, so thank you, officers. Number 9. Finally caught. I think we've all seen this infamous black C7 Corvette at least once on Instagram. The driver is famous for teasing cops late at night. He has a camera hooked up to his ride, and every single day he'd upload a new reel showing a daring evasion. But it looks like those days are finally over, as the police have caught him red-handed. It took quite some effort, as they literally had to box in his Corvette to prevent him from escaping. And just so you know, this isn't an ordinary Corvette. It's packing some extra power under the hood. Number 10. 5.0 Mustang. This is as crazy as it gets, folks. This cop is in for a real joyride as he tries to catch this tuned-out Mustang. It's packing some serious power as we see him accelerate to insane speeds in just a matter of seconds. And keep in mind, this isn't a typical chase we see on the highway or something. This guy is actually going through busy streets and intersections, putting a lot of people at risk. And if I'm being real, the cop deserves a lot of credit here. He almost caught this Mustang. But yeah, it looks like he's actually waiting for them to catch up, just to speed off again. A lot of people think these cars should be made illegal for the streets, but if you ask me, I think the state should just give cops faster cars. Number 11. Ghost mode. I know the footage is a bit blurry, but if you focus on the number plate, you'll question why the officer tried chasing this C7 Corvette in the first place. The number plate reads, "Will run." And well, that's exactly what happens. As soon as the cop flips on the siren, this Corvette goes ghost mode, disappearing out of sight in a matter of seconds. Number 12. Crazy disrespect. Being a cop has perks and cons, and this right here is just plain out disrespect. These guys have turned the streets of Japan into a real-life Tokyo drift scene. They're literally making the police run in circles as their elite drifting skills are no match for them. Number 13. What a waste of fuel. Finally, someone pulled over. Never mind, they're gone. The driver, behind the wheel of this Ford Mustang GT, probably figured things are about to go sideways. But one thing I'm a bit confused about is why did he give them all his information before shifting gears? And as for the cops, why are you wasting so much fuel trying to catch something you can't even see? I bet that driver was able to start a new life and raise a family by the time that trooper even took off. Number 14. Dodge Charger bites the dust. This is some dangerous stuff right here, people. This driver slamming down the gas as he takes the police on a cat-and-mouse chase through the city. And even though the dude gets caught at the end, I will say he's a really skilled driver, cutting through heavy traffic, running red lights, and skimming through busy intersections without even a scratch. That's a gutsy driver right there. But it's clearly not going to be enough, since this Charger just doesn't have enough road to take off. He even pulls off a sneaky U-turn to lose the cops, but that ends up being his biggest mistake. All it takes is a little tap to send him crashing. And what's more surprising than the actual chase is all the people stuffed inside that Charger. It's almost like watching a bunch of roaches running like crazy after being caught. Number 15. Trooper outsmarts Challenger. The Arkansas State Police are notorious for a reason. These guys are always coming up with new tricks to catch these speedsters, and their latest trick is something right out of a racer's book. The Challenger initially lost these troopers thanks to the beast under the hood, but instead of fleeing off the highway, he continued traveling on the interstate. The cop, however, switched off all his lights and sirens and continued cruising until he surprisingly caught up to him again. And that's when the driver realized he's done for. I think he made the right decision pulling over, considering the trooper would have just rammed him off the road if he tried to speed off again. And while a lot of people think the trooper outsmarted him, I think it might have been some luck as well. Number 16. Across state lines. Crossing state lines is the only way to lose the Arkansas police. And the driver behind the wheel of this pimped-out Chevy Camaro knows that very well. When troopers first spot him going at crazy speeds on the highway, they decide to give it a go. And in case you don't know, a Camaro isn't exactly uncatchable. As long as there's a skilled cop behind it, catching up to it is actually possible. But this driver had a plan. Watch as he zooms through traffic at speeds of over 120 miles per hour with just one goal in mind: crossing state lines. And I gotta hand it to the officers. They really gave this fool a run for his money. But after crossing into Memphis, it's pretty much game over, since they're no longer in their jurisdiction. Oh, and did you notice that part when the Camaro squeezed between that tanker? Total insanity. Number 17. Lamborghini Huracan. Total lead. Don't try to drive what you can't handle. This driver learned it the hard way, racing away on a Huracan after being pulled over by the cops. The car is stolen, and when officers figure that out, this dude absolutely floors it. And while he's nowhere to be seen in the frame, all that is going to change pretty soon. The next we see, the Lamborghini is completely totaled, as it gets split in two after going straight into a tree. And the driver, well, he literally went flying several feet away after getting ejected from the sheer force of the impact. You know things are bad when police can't even find the other half of a car. Number 18. Mr. Bond. Is Mr. Bond behind the wheel of this beautiful Jaguar? What a smooth, decisive, and skilled driver. And I know there were a lot of dangerous maneuvers throughout the entire chase, but my man had it all under control. I bet the engineers over at Jaguar were probably high-fiving each other after the car's crazy performance. You rarely see anyone get away from a helicopter, but our guy here did that too. I mean, is there anything he can't do? Well, apart from driving responsibly, obviously, he does roughen up the Jaguar pretty good. But now it's time for the final trick. Now you see him, and now you don't. I've only seen people do stuff like this in movies, but the driver actually used the cover of the bridge to escape. That's a smooth criminal right there. Number 19. RS4 goes nuts. A manual Audi RS4 tearing up the streets at night. If I were a cop and I saw that, I'd just let them go without even switching the lights. There's no way they're catching up to that monster. And while it does seem like the police are doing an excellent job staying on their tail, trust me, that's only because the driver is letting them. I mean, the passenger is literally eating his food while his buddy schools the cops on so many different levels. Number 20. Fast and Furious. This is as real as it gets. What you're witnessing right now is an actual street race. And waiting for them is an entire squad of police cars. This is where things kick off, people. Watch as the police come in hot and turn this street race into a dangerous pursuit. It's crazy because these racers are literally trolling the cops at this point. They gap the cops, but then slow down, waiting for them to catch up again. And did you notice? There's even a bike in the mix. Also, I think the Fast and Furious movies have had a really bad influence on these racers. They're out there with their plates still on. And honestly, even if they don't catch these bad boys, they still have their details. And the reason why these guys are so coordinated is because they actually have walkie-talkies. What a crazy scene. Number 21. Showing off goes wrong. Check out this $6 million Maserati. He's pushing this machine like it's nothing, but this is a classic example of when showing off goes wrong. As we see this Maserati terrorize the street, an unmarked vehicle pulls up behind, and that's when we see the lights go off. It's a cop, and this driver is in some serious trouble. The clip is cut short, but word is, this driver dashed out of there in no time. Number 22. Mighty Mustang takes a toll. Don't start what you can't finish, folks. And this Mustang 5.0 GT learned that the hard way. Oh, and by the way, it's stolen. Anyway, his competition today? The legendary Arkansas State Police. You know these cops never go down without a fight. And even though this Mustang seems all fast and furious, it's in for a real surprise. The duo battle it out on the busy streets of Arkansas before this Mustang driver loses momentum. But allow me to let you in on a little secret. You can't outrun the radio, even if you have the fastest car in the entire city. Those cops will be all over you as long as they're able to radio in your location. But what a sad ending. That stolen Mustang's going to need quite some repairing. Number 23. Green Nissan can't evade the cops. You're in for a real surprise. This is what a real chase looks like. This green Nissan is trying to evade the cops, but the only issue here, heavy traffic. It sucks how the driver is behind the wheel of such a powerful machine, but he has nowhere to go. Either way, he's still doing his best to get out of there. He's zigzagging through traffic and finally manages to get off the freeway, giving him some space to give that beast a breather. But I don't think this guy is used to this Nissan. If we wanted, he could have zoomed out of there in no time. But if you ask me, he still made the right decision. Slowing down and stopping was the best idea, otherwise he probably would have been tagged for a whole lot more violations. But that still doesn't mean he isn't going to jail for reckless driving and evading the authorities. Number 24, roaring Audi. I don't know if this is a chase or just a show. There's no cops to be seen as this driver is racing down the highway at speeds of over 160 miles per hour. What blows my mind is how even the helicopter is having a tough time keeping up with this beast of a machine. And even though it seems like this Audi might escape to race another day, that's not the case. The driver, who was just 24 years old, was arrested later that night after running out of fuel. How ironic. Number 25. Gone like the wind. Check out some more crazy YouTubers who get a kickoff leading the police on intense chases. But I wouldn't exactly call this a chase. That police car disappeared quicker than we even saw it. And the ride? A 465 horsepower VW GTR. But this is trolling at another level, considering how these slick drivers had a taxi sign on their car as they hit speeds more than 230 km/h. Number 26. Ego issues. In case you don't know yet, in the world of supercars and racing, double indicators usually mean a goodbye. And that's what this Chevy Camaro does as it first baits the Arkansas police and then speeds out of there in no time. This police driver right here chased nothing for a whole 10 minutes before finally giving up the chase. I bet his ego got hurt watching that Camaro take off. Number 27. An easy excuse. Mechanical problem, sure, buddy. And even though this isn't a supercar, I think it's only fair we include a heavy bike in the mix. This Suzuki Hayabusa gave troopers the thrill of a lifetime as it led them on an intense chase, zigzagging through traffic. The trooper tried his very best to keep up with the motorbike, but eventually had to pull out due to some mechanical problems. I'm sure that's exactly what happened. Number 28. Empty-handed. Check out this illegal car, Meet Up. The drinks are flowing, wheels are burning, and everyone's having a good time. That is, until the cops show up. Things go sideways as we see a variety of race cars scramble out of the scene. And while most of them escape without any interference, this Dodge Charger is in for some trouble. We see two cops chase Bumblebee over here, but it's to no avail. On a side note, the driver isn't crazy here. It's that ninja hanging out of the passenger window that's the real nutcase. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. What do you think? Have you seen a supercar in action speeding from the cops? Let me know in the comments below. And quick word of advice before I sign off. Drive responsibly. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more cool videos. Thanks for watching and see you next time.